Namaskar. Welcome to Ek Samvaad at Arunima Ankuran. 13th February is National Women's Day. On this occasion, we are having a conversation with Godeliva from Goa, Interlacing Creativity and Psychological Wellbeing. Our guest is a psychologist, educator, and crochet expert. A very warm welcome to you and thank you for being on Ek Samvaad.
Thank you so much, Pragya, for this enriching and resourceful opportunity.
Such a pleasure to have you here. A
Thank
word
you.
about Arunima Ankuran. This is an initiative for positive social change through self-development. The goal is greater well-being and happiness for all. At Arunima Ankuran, we believe that each person is unique and special in some way, that each person can make a difference, that each person can create an impact, and that's what inspires us to keep going. So National Women's Day in India is celebrated annually on February 13th to mark the birth anniversary of Sarojini Naidu, known as the Nightingale of India. In 2026, this day commemorates her 147th birth anniversary, honoring her contributions to the freedom struggle, women's empowerment, and her role as the first woman governor of an Indian state. And this is our charming guest. She's a clinical psychologist and educator from Goa, dedicated to fostering mental health and social advocacy for over 2 decades. She seamlessly blends her expertise in human behavior with her passion for traditional needle arts through her creative startup, Captivating Talent. And you can find this on the link which is being shared here on Instagram. As a community leader and Ubuntu facilitator, she empowers youth and women by interlacing psychological resilience with the therapeutic power of creativity and sustainable living. Thank you again for being here, and it was a wonderful opportunity for us to meet each other when we were at NID Gandhinagar.
I'm really blessed that our paths cross.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, for today's conversation, we are really fortunate to have you here. Someone who's empowering women, someone who's empowering everyone in different ways. Some people through your art, and some people through your skills as a counselor. And even more beautiful is the fact that you're bringing the two things together. So, talk to us a little bit about your journey and all the milestones that you think have brought you where you are today.
Yeah, thank you. I have been holding a master's degree in clinical psychology and sociology, and basically having this background has allowed me to understand the inner world of the individual and also focus on the wider social forces that are outside the individual that shape the individual, maybe their social life, the circumstances that they are placed in. Uh, Especially this awareness came into being when I started working as a chief counselor for an international NGO, and I work with these commercial sex workers and the fishermen along the coast, where I would counsel them on HIV, AIDS, and this. Okay, that's when I felt the need of creativity also should come in, because end of the day they are so stressed doing all this that we would have small sessions like this on creativity for them, and I realized it makes a lot of difference. So my work goes beyond the conventional therapeutic space, because I can say I commit to healing through creativity,
Mm.
because creativity is something that connects you to divine. Also, we are all the creator's masterpieces, and we have this creativity somewhere inborn within us. It's just that we need to ignite it within us. And each one of us is, as you said, we celebrate uniqueness over this platform. Each one of us being unique, it has given me the opportunity that I express this creativity along with counseling, where people understand the connectivity between every stitch or every knot that is made. It makes them create a tapestry of their life, basically, because you are putting in everything. You're putting in your sorrows as well as your happiness. And for me, counseling was not just a sadness expressed, because many a times we do not have people to express happiness also.
So
So it meant, and I felt creativity was one thing. If we don't have a human being to express, we have art that we can express either on fabric or on paper. And you express your joys and your sorrows, and that's where I went beyond the conventional concept of therapy for creativity to come in. And my creativity also bloomed because at one point of time, because I needed to nurture my son, I had to give up my job. And then I knew I had this strong urge within me that I need to create something, being a creative person. And that's when I developed my talent all the more. And it all started with making baby clothes for him.
oh, that's
Yeah, the machine embroidery that I learned then. And as he grew, then after taking part-time jobs here and there, I enrolled myself for a full-time course in embroidery and everything. But crochet came down from generation. I had learned it from my grandmother and my aunt Divina, who was very creative, including my father and my grandfather too. He would do the tiara work, so it was there in the family, and I think everybody at some point of time understood that was what you could get back to maintain that emotional or mental balance. Because I remember my grandfather working the whole day and coming home and sitting on his tiara and winding the thread. So it was not confined to women. I felt in our generation we crossed gender bias also where this skill was concerned. So that is how I strongly believe that creativity is a tool that can bring about a change in a life of an individual. It may be at the resourceful stage and as well as at the non-resourceful stage of your life in an individual's lifespan. That's how I started developing or incorporating my therapy or psychological skills with creativity that was there, because it was the values also that were handed from my elders to me in terms of uh, creativity. Yes. Yeah.
wow, I think that's beautiful. And the fact that it's flowing down from generations into the family,
Yeah.
that's
And
amazing.
I could take it to my students also. When I was a part-time lecturer, I was teaching NGO management.
Hmm.
So I would incorporate that as one activity wherever I could get either crochet or embroidery or take them so that they would involve them in a community project. Like I'm doing a community project called as Banyan Tree now, where we are doing embroidery. It's
Mhm.
been going for some years. So it's like getting to know, and the children also knowing the importance that creativity is something that could be anything. You just draw a line and add something to it, and it becomes abstract art. And you just wonder, wow, this is what it is. And that's absolutely what life is, because end of everything we realize, wow, we did it. That's sort of a concept. Yeah.
Once you're in the creative space, you get into a state of flow and you're so deeply involved in it, you just forget everything else because you're so focused on what you're doing right now. And creating
So true.
something itself is so
Itself,
satisfying.
yeah. And sometimes you wouldn't even realize that this is what I have reproduced, because that's what is actually within you that automatically comes out.
Yes,
Yeah.
lovely.
Yes.
So, talk to us about a few experiences that brought out the importance of how creativity can impact an individual in terms of psychological well-being. Any specific cases that you can think of?
Yes, I would have three examples that I can give. The first one is like I have this children from the age of 10 that come to me. And I have this girl who was very fidgety, coming from a very good school, everything.
Mhm,
And then her mother said, Teacher, can you please like teach her to do? And
mhm,
initially, first two classes were like, oh my God, and like, just help me out. And then it took time, she caught up. And I happened to tell her, talk to your needle, talk to your stitches. And she would
mhm,
say, it's not coming. That's because she was stressed at home, And then eventually she did so many things. She would, and every time it was not coming, she would, because I teach a lot of affirmations, a little meditation before I start my classes.
Mhm.
So that's how it all starts. And then I would tell her, tell your needle cooperate with me, or the thread, please come out. And she started doing it. She used to laugh
Oh,
over it,
sweet.
but she used to do it. And
Mhm.
then she picked up pretty well after classes. And then a week after, I get a message from a mother saying that, teacher, my daughter is off the phone and she's just doing crochet all the time.
Oh,
And for her, it was such an achievement because when she came here, she told me she's only on the phone and she does not want to do anything, not even her homework. So
mhm.
for me, it was indeed a joy because it took her off an unresourceful state to a very resourceful state. A child who would struggle with needle and thread, she did that. And that was one. So it creates a lot of discipline and concentration in today's children because they've got a lot of distracted because so many things have happened with them. Like the COVID came in, they were inside, suddenly getting used to so many things. So
Yes.
getting back to all that, I think this was a very good creative skill that she had learned.
Mhm.
The second incident I could cite is I had this therapist who came to me and she said, I have phobia about crochet. Then I
Mhm.
really don't know what it would be to crochet because when I was in school, my teacher told me you are not good at it, so don't do it.
Mhm.
Okay. So I used to teach her crochet stitches. So the first stitch is chain. So she used
Huh.
to tell me, don't say it's chain. I can't, my mind does not process it. I said, okay, so what do you want to say? Said
Mhm.
loops. Can you say loop? So I went to her. I said, okay, loop. So I
Mhm.
said, do you know that you are in a loop right now? You are in a loop where your teacher told you you can't do it. And
Mhm.
somewhere you have this self doubt, I can't, but you still want to overcome that. I said, so we will use the word loop, and you are going to break these loops of negativity or unresourceful state. And
Wow.
she has picked up the crochet thing. And she said, I never knew I would. So somewhere she said, I have broken the shackles of fear or me not knowing,
Mhm.
thinking that I don't know this all. So that was another achievement where I felt people can break down their bondages of, where they have put themselves down and said, I am not good enough because somebody else has told me I cannot do it, and she has overcome it being a therapist herself. Yeah. So, and the third one is I'm working on another case right now. She's an elderly means she's 65, and I was requested that I come and teach her crochet because she's into depression and anxiety, and she was on depression medication also. When I went in, she didn't know I was a psychologist also. So I absolutely didn't. So I started with my actual thing, like, breathing. She said, no, nahi karna hai mujhe. I don't want to do it. I said, fine, let's do what it is. She said, I just want to do crochet and that's going to kill my depression. And deep inside, I know that is not going to happen because crochet alone is not going to take away her depression and anxiety. So slowly I started working with her in different ways, depending on projects. Like
Mhm.
even certain projects she would do immediately call me and I would delay it because I know she's going to learn to wait for me or wait for the next project. Different things that I could use there. And then it so happened that the psychiatrist would increase her dose. So
Mhm.
I told her daughter-in-law, I said, you are going to stop the medicine. So she
Mhm.
asked me, are you sure? I said, yeah, she does not need it. I said, indirectly, I'm going to work on it because I know not going to accept me as a psychologist or a counselor. And the good news was, after 3 weeks or 4 weeks, her daughter-in-law told me I stopped her medication
Mhm.
and she's doing well. That was another achievement for me because being off such medication is indeed a great thing for her own health first.
Yes.
Okay, more than achievement, it is for me a satisfaction that I could help her live a very balanced life and helping her. And she's developing her mental well being right now. So these are the things that I do. And I also use small things like maybe just a pat on the back
Mm.
or something called as self hug, which I practice at the end of every session.
Mm.
Because as women or even as men, we so much tend to forget to say thank you to our own selves.
Yes.
Whenever I ask my students or whenever I go saying, ma'am, thank you to yourself, we say thank you to everybody and God also.
Mm.
But sometimes I mean, we need to say thank you to God and other people, but then we very well forget to do the thank you to our own self. I think end of the session we can do a tight self hug. I can show how we do it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
from the first story that you started with, we would like you to share with us a few things like, for example, what are some of the affirmations that one can use? And
Mhm.
also, what exactly do we mean when we say breathing practices?
Okay. Now I basically start with the breathing exercises because breathing is something that pumps in oxygen.
Mm.
Okay, so along with breathing, I do a sort of a visual exercises where I make them close and I make them either visualize a place or visualize them in a place that they would love to, or different types of visualization that I make them do, and in that I make them aware of all their senses, like that you are blessed to see, have your eyes, your sight, your ear, your speech. Feel things around you, the air, the heat, the sound. So by then, the body calms down because the body focuses on yourself and you try to block or elevate all the distractions that are around you.
Mm.
And on breath basically is something that keeps us alive. And very often we so much forget about it
So
that
true.
we are breathing because it's so automatic. But when we do that, I think you focus on yourself. And that's how I start. So when you focus on yourself, you are bringing the best of yourself out. You are elevating the best of your out. And I very well tell them to ground themselves. Their legs are grounded on the floor, neither folded or anything. So they are in connectivity with the universe and nature. So whenever I make it a point, whenever they're doing something creative, no crossing legs down. Because that's the process the brain also can't coordinate because we work with the right hand side of the brain with the left hand and it's the opposite. So that's how the whole thing. So by then they are already engrossed into it
Mm.
and they're focused on what they're doing and your body is prepared for the motor movements that they have to do because the motor movement helps to coordinate with your brain so that cognitive aspect also comes into being. So that's how I get into it. Then in between I give them breaks for some physical activity also, and then comes the affirmations like I am resourceful, I am creative, I am unique, which we very often don't know. We all the resources are right within us, and whatever
So
we
much.
have done or taken action is
Mm.
because we already have it stored between us. We wouldn't do anything that we do not know actually. So so it triggers all these aspects in an individual, and they try to put in their best. And because in the beginning itself, they are acknowledging that they are resourceful and they are creative, so the brain has already got the message that this is what I am and I need to reproduce it. So that's how the whole session goes. Yeah.
Wow, so amazing.
Thank you.
um, how did you discover this in the sense that, this beautiful coordination which you're doing? Did you learn it from someone or did it come from your own experience? Walk us
It
through that route.
came up from my own experiences. I told you because initially my experience was with these commercial sex workers. So they are people who are totally distorted at some point of time,
Mm.
physically abused also, and mentally hurt.
Yes.
And when I saw that they were in a totally different state of mind when they would do that, and I was blessed to have both these qualities. So somewhere it struck me, why not develop it to that extent? Because when it came to me also, when I had given up my job as a counselor because I used to travel uh, quite a lot, like in different parts of India also. So I had to suddenly stop all that
Hmm.
because of childbearing and all that gynec reasons. And then what next was the question. And immediately I knew I had this talent and I need to do it. And that's when all this came into the focus, like, that when if I can apply it for myself and do it, so it can be done for everybody. And it's a must because we so much forget about what we are, and we need to remind ourselves as well as if it would be a gift that I can give because I am blessed, the little that I can do for the society around me. Uh, that's how it all came about. Yeah,
Such a wonderful example of self-leadership, no?
thank you. Yeah,
Empowering people through what you can do, I think, is one of the most satisfying experiences one can have.
yeah. And I think my work experiences also have taken me because I work with these people, the fishermen, then the children, the teenagers. So it has been a while. I mean, it's like a big what I would say, a balance of love that I carry with me because I still have this. Some of my students from Afghan who were there who will call me. One or two of these commercial sex workers also who will still call me and be in touch. Like, so it still gives that loving feeling that you could manage to make a difference in somebody's more than difference, rather give love and compassion and concern to others. Yeah.
Yes, that's so powerful, actually. That's what the world needs more of, actually.
Yeah.
Um, you also spoke about a few exercises that you make people do. You know,
Yes.
the students, the children these days need inputs like this, but they don't know where to get them. If we can share a
Yes.
few that they can watch and do, would it be okay? Can you share a few of
Oh,
these?
yeah. But these are the few that I do just because what happens when they are first learners with the craft, it so happens that their hand exercises are so I just do basic core exercises with them. I will not maybe able to do the others, but the hand one, the one would be like just touching your thumb to this and pinky finger down, which you do 60.
Hmm,
Then hold your tongue inside the palm and you tightly open it. So that creates and gives the pressure because your pressure points are in your hand.
hmm,
That one, the other one would be like this, and then your nails right into your palm.
hmm.
So these are the four that I make them do because it really gives them the motor exercises. There was this it just came to my mind. Like even at when I we had this session at NID, there was an example that came into. We were very fortunate to have this gender bias group, boys and girls. So there's one boy who came and told me, "Ma'am, my muscles are tight. You're telling me to exercise, and this thumb does not seem to move."
Right.
And I know he was in this tense state of mind. The very fact the muscles are tight and means he's in stress. So I remember the previous day he told me, "Can we go out and do crochet in the open?"
Hmm,
So I said, and it suddenly it connected somewhere to me.
hmm,
I said, "Yes, we'll go out." So I asked them, "Can we go to the amphitheater?" And while we were walking out, and I was telling him, "It's okay, you relax, we are going in the open, you feel the air and all." The moment he reached there and he did like this. I'm
hmm.
like, "What happened?" See, my muscles are moving now. So ma'am, what you were saying, like it's right, it's tension, we know what we were doing. So basically this small things sometimes we learn to complicate things for ourselves and make it difficult. I feel it we need to do these small things that are really more beneficial than the complex picture that we look at for anything in life. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we are all learning. I may be saying so, but I know as we grow, we all learn about it. Right.
And it's so good to share, So it
Yes.
like something as simple as this. Maybe for the rest of his life, he'll remember this
True, and
experience.
I strongly believe in sharing simply because even like in college, like very often I say you share your PPTs or you share this pattern. I always tell them creativity is not confined to one slide or one pattern. The way you will reproduce it will actually be different. Because even in crochet, the same pattern, somebody will do it long, tight, loose, because it's the tension, the yarn that you use, everything is going to be different. Even
Yes,
if I share my PowerPoint or share a little knowledge, but when you share it to somebody, you will always add your experience, your emotions, your values. So it's totally is going to be different. So I strongly believe sharing does not take a part of you away. It in fact enhances somebody else.
yes. And enriching other people's lives and sowing seeds of positive change. That's it.
Positivity.
You never know
Which
what's
somewhere around you're going to get it back. It
absolutely.
revolves around you. Yeah.
Yeah. So the impact that you've created, talk to us a little bit about some of the feedback that has come to you from the experiences you've just shared.
The feedback that has come to me is that I mean, the first thing is that they tell me that, ma'am, you are somebody who shows so many things. Like I don't allow them to even waste a small piece of yarn or a thread because, uh, and then they said we know to value things because we know every small piece can be utilized for something. That is what I strongly believe. Nothing goes to waste. So that I tell them to save everything that is there with them, every piece of yarn or any thread that is there, because everything is of use.
Hmm.
So the same way I tell them, nothing that has happened in your life is of waste or is unresourceful. You learn from your negative experiences as well as your positive experiences. And somewhere you will learn that all those bits and pieces, if you put together, you will make something beautiful out of it. Another thing I emphasize and they very well appreciate is that I don't allow them to carry a plastic bag along with them. The moment they
Yes, I
carry a
noticed.
plastic,
Huh.
yeah, carry a plastic bag with them, I tell them, please carry an old t-shirt tomorrow and come. So I teach them this old tote bag that they make, no suit tote bag. You just have to cut and tie knots. And this is one class that I have free of cost in every college. I have had it for women and in schools also, where I, being a part of this Innovil Club, of Salsit. I've taken this up as a project for the club as well as the individual project. Another feedback that I've got is that I can connect to what the child is doing and put it in a way that they can learn whatever they are learning. Like that, I wouldn't be, I don't know, annoyed. I'm actually a person who used to get angry, but then I feel somewhere this has taught me patience to accept every person the way that they are. That is the feedback that I got. And the other feedback I've got is that every child said that they can open up or talk to me or share whatever they want to and feel confident enough. So that's what I get.
Yeah, and I remember while we were at NID, you were carrying your own spoon and cutlery and everything,
Oh yeah,
right?
that's the little earth kit that I carry always when I go for any conferences or thing, because I was in this organization which is called Zero Lifestyle, the wasteless lifestyle.
Hmm.
So I carry that because I realized even the paper cups that they give has some amount of plastic in it. Otherwise, it
Yes.
wouldn't have hold that coffee or tea. So I make this point to carry my cutlery, a small cup and a tiffin or anything. So I have a small pouch that carries all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Uh,
little that we can do to save Mother Earth.
yes, and every drop counts. You know? So
Yes,
this
yes.
is so
Yeah.
beautiful. Is there a message that you'd like to share before we conclude?
Yeah. The message that I would love to give is that. we all need creativity is basically respecting life. And since all of us uh, because at the end of all this, in my heart, at the heart of my work, is that I need to respect life. I need to appreciate everybody. It's not like discriminate, and that is what creativity helps me to do. So let us just appreciate each other, because we are all beautiful. We are all made beautiful by the divine. We all have the powers within us. We should not feel that we are not resourceful at any point of time, because the little that we get is very, very important. And I think the first thing that start, it's me. I need to be my best friend,
Yes.
come what others says. And somewhere we have to learn to draw this boundary, because we are so often our own energy drainers. We listen to somebody else and drain our own energy, but if we block it somewhere and draw our line, we don't need other energy drainers. We can be our own superpower.
Yes.
And I think I would end by the self hug for each one of us, and we'll
Yeah,
pass the self hug.
sure.
Put your right hand over the left shoulder, yeah, and your left hand round your waist, and hold yourself tight.
Oh,
And
that's
I think we
beautiful.
are going to tell each one of us, and thank you. Like I would say, thank you, Godeliva, for your the gift that you are to yourself and to others. So you could say whatever you want to say, Pragya.
I would like to say
Right.
thank you for knowing that we can grow through what we go through.
Yes,
So, we
yes,
are growing each day and getting better and better,
yes,
and every one of us is free to make that choice, the effort. And thank you
yes.
for making that
Yes,
choice.
the choice does matter, whether we react or respond, whether we
Yes,
are resourceful or
yes,
unresourceful. And I need a pat on my back, and you need to give a pat on your back too,
yes,
that we may continue with God's grace to do what we are doing,
yes.
knowing
That
that
is
He is going to guide us and protect us in
absolutely,
ma- fulfilling the purpose that He has entrusted to us.
absolutely.
Yes,
And,
yeah.
I always feel there's so much power in these words. Education is the manifestation of perfection already in man.
Mm.
So we all have
Yes.
that glory which is there within us. We just need to find our own
Yes.
ways of expressing it. And what you're doing is amazing work.
Basically being aware of it and acknowledging it, and applying for yourself and spreading it across, because
Yes,
learning, unlearning, and relearning happens till we go to the grave.
so true. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Godeliva, for being here. It was such a pleasure
Thank
to
you
have
so
you. And
much,
I'm
Renu.
sending you a long distance hug all the way across.
Yeah, here too, a tight hug.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
from
you
me
so
to
much.
you and everyone who would help this platform I mean, use this platform to grow and nurture themselves.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
so
this
much.
enriching session, Pragya. Thank you so much.
Oh, it was an absolute pleasure having you. And keep shining, keep making the world a better
Thank
place.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, same to you. Yeah, God bless you too.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye.
Yeah.